Hello Stitchy friends! Welcome to the Starlight Stitching Co. Flosstube video number 36. If you're new here, my name is Amanda Corbett and I'm the creator behind Starlight Stitching Co. And if you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. I'm so excited to see you again. Today I have a lot to share. So I had hoped to create a video before going to the Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher retreat, but there was just a lot of preparations going on, making sure I had everything ready to go. And then there was recovery from the retreat. A little bit of a retreat hangover, if you will. But it was a lot of fun, and I'll share about that more in just a little bit. I'll probably have some of that information sprinkled throughout the video instead of all at once, because all of my finishes are from the classes at the retreat. There were 3 wonderful designers, and it was so lovely to meet them and speak with them in person and learn from them. I learned a lot of really good techniques. I did significantly underestimate the amount of hand sewing that was going to be involved in these classes. So as I talk more about the retreat, you'll find out that I actually got very little stitching done, which is surprising. So first off, let's talk about the finishes. So the first class I had was Garden's Glory Stockings by Lindy Stitches, and she is so amazingly sweet and kind. And we got to make these adorable little garden stockings. So there's a rickrack hanger, and in the class kit she gave us plenty of this rickrack, a whole 3-yard piece, and there's loads left to do another finish, and some vintage buttons. So here is the vegetable garden stocking, finished with some orange fabric on the back. And this one is what she called raspberries. Very pretty. And I put the purpley gingham fabric on the back. And then this one is probably my favorite, the butterflies with the purples, and I used the minty green on the back. And these are just so cute and adorable, and I have the perfect spot in my craft room to hang all 3 of these up so they can hang out all summer long. Now this one, she showed us how to do the back stitch, to hand sew the 2 layers of fabric together. And I did this one by hand. The other 2 I cheated and brought home to my sewing machine and sewed it on the sewing machine to get those finished up just a little bit faster. Okay, the next class was the Christmas Village Drum, and this is by Julia Punti and Tici. Again, super sweet and kind. I loved learning from her. This is the first drum I've ever made. And here she is. So we have the little church and some houses. There's my back seam. Now where my cording got stuffed in is a little bumpy, but otherwise I am very pleased with how this turned out. It is so cute. There's metallic thread on those diamond stitches. There's beads in several places. I learned several specialty stitches, and lacing, and it was just a lot of fun. I was actually able to completely finish this in the class, get everything sewn together, and then she also had the decorative pins for sale, so I got a set of those to match. And it came with this sweet little wooden base that it just sits on. Adorable. The next class I took was the Kansas City Sewing Roll with Becky Noland of Lucy Beam Stitches. Again, so kind, so nice to meet her, a fabulous teacher. And this was more hand sewing. So here is my stitched finish. I did not have a chance to share this on Flosstube before I left because I was working on it up until a couple of days before. So this is stitched on 18 count CRC fabric from Fiber on a Whim. So this is stitched on 18 count CRC by Fabrics by Stephanie. And it arrived right when I was trying to figure out what fabric to use, because the kit came with the pattern and the floss, but you got to choose your own fabric. And that was another really fun thing about the class, is you got to see all the different fabrics everyone chose. So pretty. So here is mine on the lovely blue, and we have some ribbon attached with a button at the top. And on the back side is this little pocket here and this piece of flannel where we can keep a needle. And I did some simple little embroidery X's in the same pink floss that came with our kit. And so we can take this and put our little things in there and roll it up and tie it into a bow, and we have this sweet little sewing kit. Isn't that adorable? Now, I don't know how I will display this, because obviously this is the pretty part, so we'll see. But I love it. And in part of that class, she also gave us the materials and the floss and the bow to make a sweet little strawberry. And she already had these mostly sewn up. We just had to stuff them, add these stitches, and add the bow. And it was just a really nice complement to go with our sewing roll. That was a lot of fun. Now, the most challenging class was from Julia Punti and Ticci again. And this is Amelia, an Irish pincushion doll. I had shared that the stitching, did I have the stitching done or almost done? I don't recall. But either way, I am so incredibly proud of how this came out. Here is my finished doll. Isn't she lovely? Oh my goodness. So obviously the front of her skirt is the stitching that I did with the sweet little beads. And then in the class, we created the bottom. So this is all hand sewn around the edges. We hand sewed fabric onto the back on both sides, and then got the doll attached and the fabric cinched in around the waist. And that was what I got completed during the class. And then after I got home, we had to sew this lace trim onto the green velvet and make the bows and attach them and add the skirt around the waist of the doll and a nice lovely bow in the back. So that part was all completed at home. on Sunday, I think. I think I finished this on Sunday because I really wanted to get her done, and she is so gorgeous. So again, a lot of fun techniques used, a lot of stitches learned, and now I'm definitely more confident to take on some more 3D finishing pieces. And again, those lovely pins on top, fabulous. I did get pictures with two of the designers. I'm kicking myself for not getting a picture with Becky Noland, but I did get a picture with Lindy Stitches, or Stephanie Webb of Lindy Stitches, and Julia Punti. Probably saying that wrong, but I will go ahead and pop those in here. It was so much fun. Basically, the only other pictures or video I took was a quick little snapshot or a quick little video of my pop-up shop table that I had set up. And I'll go ahead and insert that here for you to see. So I mentioned that I didn't really get a lot of stitching done. So the first night, Thursday night, was, you know, like the welcome and the meet and greet. I did get a decent amount of stitching then, but it was all on a model piece that I can't show you yet. So sorry. But the other days, it was a little bit of time to stitch and, you know, chat with people that were coming up asking about my products and making sales. And then there were classes and lunch. And in the evenings, I came home to have dinner with my family because it was in Kansas City and was really close to where I live. So I didn't get the evening stitching time that everyone else there got, but that's okay because I still got to see my family and still got to have fun at the retreat, which was a nice combo. So let's see what I have for whips. That one is just my model, which I can't show you. I don't know where to put everything. This is Serenity by Teresa Kogut. I recently started this. I don't think I've gotten a whole lot of progress since the last time I showed you, but I'm not sure. So here is where I'm at. And this is on a 20 count cream Aida that I over dyed with some taupe Rit dye. And someone had asked on Instagram, so I wanted to briefly go through the process. The first thing I did was take the fabric out of the packaging and rinse it under warm water just to get everything wet. Then I laid it in a glass baking dish and just scrunched it up. Next, I mixed about a cup of water. I didn't really measure. So a cup of water with probably half to a teaspoon of salt, and this was hot water, and then maybe about 2 or 3 capfuls of dye. Again, I didn't measure. I literally just poured some, okay, that looks good, move on. So I probably could not replicate this. And then I took and I spooned that across the fabric randomly. And then I just left that on and mixed up about a half a cup of water with some more salt, probably a half teaspoon, and the same amount of dye, or approximately the same amount of dye to get a darker shade. So probably about 2 capfuls to make it darker. And then I spooned that on in some random spots. I only left that set for about 2 or 3 minutes, not a long time, and then I rinsed it out. I had already preheated my oven to 200 degrees. So after I rinsed it out, I put the fabric back in the baking pan and scrunched it up again, and then put it in that 200-degree oven. And I basically just popped it in the oven and then turned the oven off and let it cool off all on its own. And then I later hung it to dry. Make sure you hang it to dry on like a plastic hanger, because if you use a metal hanger or like a towel rod or a shower curtain rod, you might get some discoloration from where the fabric is actually touching that rod. Ask me how I know. It's happened before, not on this piece, because this piece I hung on a plastic hanger. And then I just ironed it with steam to get most of the wrinkles out. There's still some wrinkles. And that's how I got this lovely modeling. I love hand-dyed fabric. It's gorgeous, but sometimes the budget just doesn't allow for hand-dyed fabric. Let's see, shove this back in here. So that was my process for dyeing that piece of fabric, in case you are wondering. Next whip that I have is Let Love Rain by Teresa Kogut. You've seen this one a lot. This is my birthday start from last year, and I've been working on it pretty consistently. I'm stitching this on a 32 count raw silver linen by Zweigart, and here's where I'm at. It's hard to see. There we go. So I finished this sunflower and bird motif here, and then I had a little bit more to fill in on the flowers in this border. So now that second row is complete, and I'm ready to move on to the next row. I'm so excited. There's still a lot more work to do on this, but I'm really loving how it's coming out. All right. What do we have next? Okay. Saturday morning, before heading to the retreat, I had a little bit of time to sit and stitch. But all of the things that I'm regularly stitching on, like my priority pieces, were in my retreat bag that I had left at the retreat. So I picked up Love and Learning by Emily Call Stitching. And I got quite a bit more done on the tree. So before, I had the tree branch basically just above the flower, and I added in all of the branch that you see to this side of the flower and got down to the bottom of the trunk, and I'll be working my way back up. And I am stitching this on, what am I stitching this on? 18 count cream and sugar, I think. Do I have it written down? I think it's 18 count cream and sugar with one strand over 1/8 square. Yes, 18 count cream and sugar by Fiber on a Whim with one strand of floss. And I've really been enjoying stitching with one strand of floss. The stitches look so pretty and dainty and delicate. Ugh, so good. Okay. That does it for my cross stitch whips. I keep trying to figure out where I'm going to set stuff because my table is just absolutely chock full of stuff. All right, so the last whip I have is my knitting whip. I've been working on my harvest cardigan and I haven't gotten a lot further. Honestly, for the most part, this is something I'm working on in the car when I'm riding and we're driving to Kansas City. So the last time I shared this with you, I was working on this bottom band and I still needed to bind off. Well, I've gotten that complete. So my bottom band is totally done. I still need to weave in my ends. I'm kind of lazy when it comes to that. I like to weave in all my ends at once. And I've picked up my sleeve from here. Look at those lovely increases. I picked up my sleeve. I didn't do quite that good in this spot. There's some rather big loops there. So I might go back with, excuse me, I felt like I might have to sneeze. I might go back with a piece of yarn and tighten that up a bit. But here's where I'm at on the sleeve. I've gone to the first set of decreases and now there's knitting for 5 more rows, but I made sure to mark every 10 rows so I could count and do the same number of rows on the other side. So my sleeve is coming along. Super exciting. Get her stuffed back into her bag here. This bag is almost too small now. Get in there. There we go. So that's it for whips. Next up, let's talk about haul. I'm going to talk about the haul that I got before the retreat first. I received the Fanciful Flamingo's Favorite Things box. This was my first box from her, which was very nice. And we received some vintage finishing trim. Oh, in the color vintage. Lady Dot creates cotton rickrack in the color vintage. Very nice. Some lovely counting pins. Some cute little stickers. A project bag tag. Some of my favorite strawberry candies. I'm kind of surprised those are still in here. Finishing fabric. Floss. A project tracker card. The Sweet Friendships chart from the Proper Stitcher. Look at those lovely strawberries. And last but not least, the finishing board from Chantel's 141 Design Company. So we have everything in here to stitch up and finish this. All we need is the cross stitch fabric. Nice. So fun. I did subscribe to the box and I kind of can't wait to see what the next one's going to be. Excuse me. I also received my Finish That Stitch number 3 through Crazy Annie's Stitching. I'm going to be honest, this arrived right before the retreat and I haven't even opened it to look through what's in here. But it looks like there's some instructions, a white pencil, and a variety of trims. So I will have to look at that in more detail and report back. Okay. We have some fabrics that I ordered from Atomic Ranch, which if you're looking for their website, it's Rogue Stitching. It took me a while to find that out. But I wanted some more 20 count Aida, so I got some in the colors Mellow Stone, Embellish, which is a little bit lighter, and then a color I've already used and love, which is Freeze, which is neutral that has a greeny pinky undertone to it, whereas Embellish is just a lovely cream. I don't think I've even opened these up yet to see what they're like. So it's a very lovely cream. And then Mellow Stone is just a little bit of a darker cream, just a shade or two darker, maybe a hint more pink to it. As you know, with hand-dyed fabrics, they can be kind of hard to describe and describe them well. I'm also part of the Atomic Ranch Fabric Club from the Crafty Grimalkin. And this is the color Lavender, also in a 20 count Aida. Very pretty purple. And I received a fat quarter of it. I'm glad to see that a few more dyers are starting to do 20 count Aida, because I cannot handle 40 count linen. The holes are just way too small. But I do enjoy some 20 count Aida. I can still see the holes nicely. All right, now I will get into some retreat haul. So everyone at the retreat received one of these lovely bags from It's So Emma and a charm. I don't know if they were all the same, but mine was a set of sunflowers. And then inside, some of this is my haul that I purchased, and some of it is what was included. So we received the charm. We received the cross-stitch journal from It's So Emma. I also received a Sew-Mate cleaning brush. My sewing machine will appreciate a fresh brush. Those are the things that I purchased. And then we also all received a chart. I had originally received the Patriotic Quaker by Primrose Cottage Stitches, but I already had that one in my stash. Thankfully, I was able to trade with someone else and get the Botanical Bee by Hands On Design, which is there's been a fun sale going on with Shari Moss on her channel. So now I have the chart and I have the fabric, so you know what that means. Okay, there were also a few other pop-up shops there, of course. There was Lucy Beam, and I picked up the Colonial Flag sampler. Very pretty. And Stephanie Webb of Lindy Stitches was also there, and she had a variety of kits and charts and things, and I was flipping through and found this one. I have seen so many people stitching this and working on this, and I had resisted ordering it. But, I mean, then I saw it there in person, and I could resist no longer. So, American Welcome by Plum Street Samplers. I know there's glare, but it says, "This land we love, so vast and free, we honor those who cared for thee. God bless the US of A." And there's just so many fun little details in the pattern, and all the little sailboats, and those flowers at the top are gorgeous. It's 173 by 146 stitches. They don't show any dimensions on here, so I will just have to do the math on that later. But the model was stitched on 36 count with one strand of floss over 2 linen threads. So this will be a good contender for some of those cream 20 count Aidas that I just got. Nice. There was also Lapin Loops there. Such a sweet lady. And I picked up, these are all, are they all 36 count? linen. Yep. So this is the color Crypt Cloth. It's, as I throw it around, a very pretty beigey neutral. This is Campfire Smoke. So it's like a pale gray blue. Definitely a cool gray. I think it's showing up more blue on the video here. Maybe that helps just a little. It's definitely a gray, not a blue. A very soft gray. Campfire Smoke is an excellent name for that one. And then I have Pusher's Corline, which is a blue, a very pretty blue. So here, let's try to, now you can tell it's definitely more of a gray. And then our Crypt Cloth, neutral. Just some pretty, very pretty fabrics to maybe stitch some models on in the future. Okay. Some more haul that we were gifted. Just some trash. Several patterns from Julia Punti and Ticci in her classes. We received the, oops, they're slipping all over the place, Old Glory sewing box, Christmas sewing set, Anne Hull's purse, Anne Hull's brooch, and then I got another Old Glory sewing box because again I took 2 of her classes. I don't know that these were all the same for everyone. Those are just the ones that I received, and I will probably give away the second Old Glory sewing box in this video since I have an extra. And last but not least, I was gifted from Stitches by Cheryl. She was another one of the vendors there. This sweet little bin. She stitched my name on it and personalized it. There's colorful little kitty cats on the inside. And she gave me this little cup. And some extra little bag charms. That was very sweet of her. Thank you so much, Cheryl. Okay, so what do we have left to talk about? I have a shop update, and then I have some plans. Sort through some things here. Shop update. Before the retreat, I had taken everything from my stock except for the May 15th pre-order items down, just so I didn't have any inventory issues. I have reloaded what is left back in my shop. And this weekend is Memorial Day weekend, and I have a sale for you. I don't do sales very often, so take advantage of it while you can. But basically, any and all existing stock, which does not include pre-order items or PDF patterns. Those are the only 2 things not included in the sale. So everything else on the site, the stuff that is older or ready to ship or paper copies of patterns, those are all 30% off from Friday through Monday. No coupon code needed. So I hope that you take advantage of that sale while you can. And now I want to share with you what will be in the shop on June 1st. We've got a little while yet before June 1st. But first up is going to be this Strawberry Jam cross stitch clutch. Open it up, you've got your large thread bed on the inside with a piece of felt for a needle. And the outside has the vinyl pocket and also a separate back pocket. So So strawberries, I mean, what's better for June than strawberries, right? Then I have my Happy Place handbag. So this features some of the home decor weight fabric by Lori Holt. And we have this large outside vinyl pocket. Here's the back. And here's the inside. So we have our fleece for our thread bed, our felt flap for extra needle, a floss ring, or you can clip your scissors here. Pockets behind both of these sides. And then on this side, there's a large vinyl pocket with a secondary hidden pocket behind it. And then last but not least, we have the barn quilt tote. This fabric looks like it is old boards painted with barn quilt blocks in red, white, and blue colors. The binding is little stars. So this is the largest size. It's perfect for those big booklet patterns. For example, my American Welcome will fit nicely in here. I'm not starting that this weekend. Soon, maybe. So we have, again, the same thread bed, felt, and ribbon loop. This is a smaller vinyl pocket with a separate hidden pocket. This is a large vinyl pocket, and then storage behind both of these sides as I'm whacking myself in the face. So those are the 3 items that will be available for pre-order June 1st. And now some plans. So obviously I need to finish stitching up my model that I've been working on. I would love to share that with you, but I can't, so we'll just have to wait on that. I know I really love it, and I hope you'll love it too. I basically just want to work on everything. So many beautiful things to stitch. I recently came across this pattern in my stash I've had since last year, my Home Sweet Home. So I think I'm going to start this weekend for a Memorial Day start. I have more of that 20 count Aida that I dyed myself, and I picked out some colors from my stash that are different than charted, and that's what I'm going to be using, I think. We'll see how it works up. I mean, when you make a color conversion, sometimes some colors have to be switched out, but I think those will be just lovely. I think that'll work out nicely. And I also want to work on one that I have not pulled out in a very long time. Very long time. At least over a year, or almost a year. And that is Land That I Love by Teresa Kogut. This I'm stitching on a piece of 32 count raw gold linen. And I have the bones of the border all the way around. The border from here to here is totally complete. The letters are done. This border is done. One of those ginormous houses is laid out. I was working on that last year at the retreat. And I have a good start on this flower up here with the that are in the boat, the flowers in the boat, and that gorgeous flag. Look at that flag. Just look at it. Isn't it beautiful? So I want to get this back out again and work on it some. But we shall just have to wait and see how the chips fall, shouldn't we? Okay. I think that is all that I have to share with you today. I hope you enjoyed the video, And if you have any questions, as always, leave them in the comments, or you can contact me via the email in the email description box below, or you can send me a message on Instagram at StarlightStitchingCo. I hope you have a fabulous and safe Memorial Day weekend, and you get a lot of stitching time in. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe and ring that notification bell so you can be notified the next time that I pop up another video. So have a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. Thank you so much to all of the military members and their families for the sacrifices that they have made. I am forever grateful to those that keep our country safe and have kept our country safe throughout history. Enjoy your Memorial Day weekend. Happy stitching. Bye.